Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Savannah by Night here on the Midnight Dispatch. It is, of course, not the only stream this week, as we have a couple of announcements. Dreamy.
Yes, tomorrow, right here at 7 p.m. Central, join me, Estra, and some friends from Top Down Tabletop, Marquee Gaming, and Bards of New York for a familiar Christmas, a delightful romp of utter chaos and mayhem as magical familiars have to save Christmas. Sam, I think you have a little special teaser for us?
I was waiting for that Santa to just sort of fall out of the sky.
That comes later.
Well, is there any other announcements? Any other streams? Any other places that people are going to be over the next week or two?
Oh, you can find me on Tuesdays at Top Down Tabletop at 7 p.m. Central. We've been on a high-speed train through enemy territory, and last night several someones jumped us while we were sleeping. Let me tell you, when you're a bard without your armor, your AC becomes 12. They also tried to hurt our dog, so they had to die real painful. You've never seen a group of people freak out so fast.
I forgot that bards could have armor.
It is
That's where
glamour
I'm at.
studded leather armor, so I can make it whatever I want.
Oh.
I was gifted a beautiful gift.
Hmm. Sam, are you streaming Hades or anything on Friday?
I am streaming on Friday. I don't know quite yet what it's going to be. I'm gonna see maybe if there's something holiday themed that I can do or otherwise, but I will be streaming Friday at around noon on my channel, twitch.tv/smoggles11.
Hmm. And Martel, I know you just had more run-ins with Orphans in Space, but when is your next one scheduled?
Oh, yes, let me see here. Yes, our next game on the Nights of Silver Moon will be on the 12th of December. We will see you all there. It will be a most delightful time.
Okay then. And there's nothing else from upscale Winnie the Pooh over there. I think now is the time to tell a fucking
No,
vampire
let me
story.
do it.
Last time on Savannah by Night, Artem and Ellie engaged with a gator rodeo as they continued to try and place a tracking device on it. However, the scaly creature was less than cooperative in their endeavor, thrashing and gnashing the entire time. It took a combined effort from both the Gangrel and the Nosferatu just to keep it from rending them both apart. But with the living fossil subdued and the tracker implanted, they were one small step closer towards their larger goal of eventually trying this exact thing against one of the Mudmen. Poppy, newly emboldened by both her potential employer of Edward and her current benefactor of Nico, proceeded to Wormslow in the hopes of imposing herself on the more established members of court, all in an effort to facilitate her would-be crimes. However, the young Toreador found herself becoming the mask, as her goal of getting Tylene to invite her to an event resulted in her feeling more endeared towards her intended mark. Fresh from the racetrack, Cora invited Lewis over to her haven, as he was one of the few kindred that already knew where it was, due to being the very one that procured it in the first place. The two sat on the floor in some sort of pantomime of normalcy, with untouched food between them, as they quietly bantered back and forth, over the nature and cruxes of their respective derangements. Kate was called out to one of the many properties owned and managed by her clan's whip, where she was confronted with the grim reminder of the ever-looming specter of the Sabbat. Finding a motel room shellacked with human detritus, the junior Ventrue went through the expected flowchart of whom to call and what to do. Most notably, questioning a hapless mortal that had not seen but had clearly heard every gruesome detail through the walls. Once the delicate interrogation was over, Kate did him the kindness of taking away the memories that so clearly haunted him. And it's with that we begin a new night. And with every new night, we do a little bit of bookkeeping. So, as always, this is one night after the previous one. So if before was Friday, this is now Saturday night. You have your nightly blood expenditure, one for waking up, and one for appearing human, if that is your desired goal tonight. Let me know when everyone's doled that out. Miss Regan? Okay. Next is willpower. Everyone gets back one automatically. However, if you are in deficit and you need to reclaim more than that, I would like to hear arguments now. I'm looking at Sam because I know that there was an abundance spent last time.
For a successful test of the tracking device that gets us closer to our goal of being able to track a mudman, and in all elements we've learned what does work, what doesn't work, and what we can do to improve.
At least in terms of nabbing gators, this would be a successful test. I would say, based on the goals and ambitions of Ellie thus far, you get back an additional willpower. Does anyone else have an argument they need to make? Who else is in deficit? Artem.
For the look on Ellie's face when Julius handed him the steak.
That's more of a moment of comedy rather than an accomplishment, but I do appreciate it. Do you have another argument, or was that it?
For the look on Ellie's face when Artem confirmed that he does in fact drink gators constantly.
You have to tell me why that's an argument. That's the
Trying
opening
to go with
statement.
a
What's the
theme here.
thesis?
You know what? Nah.
Okay. An argument that I would accept is you've also been pursuing the Mudman thing for different reasons. What would you say is one of those reasons right now? Is it curiosity? Is it revenge? Is it protecting something? What is it for? And does the recent test feed into that?
So honestly, I'm gonna say no.
No. Okay. Fair. Okay. Moving on then. Does anyone else have any willpower reclamations? Everybody good? Okay. Now, because it is a new night, you have completed a night. Everybody gets 2 experience.
Currently at 30.
Nice. 30 total, not
30 total.
30 total, not counting the things that you have already spent from that pool. Now, you will, of course, be getting into the nitty-gritty of each of your scenes for tonight. Are there any very small things that you need to set into motion now?
I need to feed.
Okay. We'll come back to that in a moment because you have a very full schedule. Anyone else? Any little text or anything they need to send out?
I should probably feed because I used more blood than I usually do in a night.
Okay. We'll do that as part of your scene then. Okay, then. We're going to launch into this proper. It's fitting that we get to you, Kate. Your first and only meeting, as far as you're concerned, is with your clan, as the entirety of the Ventrue contingent has been called into Veritas. Even on your now largely rote drive across the Talmadge Memorial Bridge, you notice additional unmarked cars at either end. The gated entrance to the security campus itself is more restricted than it usually is, as there are more personnel manning the gate with far more robust armaments on display. While you've never been a gun gal, your recent experience with Rook has given you the impression that they could tear through cars like tissue paper in a matter of seconds. Now we can get to the reaction to that in a moment. Is there anything else you would like to set up as part of the start of your evening?
Sometime in the blur of all the previous evenings from last speaking to with Belle till now, we would have established later tonight, I think, as when we're going to the concert.
Mm-hmm. Presuming, of course, this
The
meeting,
meeting.
which we can figure out the details of that together later. Is there anything that you not necessarily say, but is there any observation you'd like to make about the stepping of security as you get closer to the Veritas campus?
No, but it makes sense having everyone together.
Mm-hmm. As you proceed into the depths of the pseudo-modern brutalistic bulwark that doubles as both the corporate headquarters of Veritas and the bastion of the Blue Bloods of Chatham County, it would dawn on you how much of a fortress this building truly is. While perhaps the walls are no match for some truly ancient elder's might. But some high-generation upstart with a mortar launcher is going to struggle to accomplish anything beyond a muffled noise. The cavernous briefing room, clearly meant for orientation and training of security personnel, plays host to the closed doors meeting of your peers. The room is scattered with notable members, including a Primogen, Whip, and off to the side, the prince himself. I'm going to ask you to make a perception and awareness check with a DC 5. Unless you have no awareness and it goes up to 6.
Okay, it's gonna be 6.
Okay.
1 success.
1 success. You, of course, know the power players around you are kindred based purely on the fact of you were introduced to them as such. However, there are individuals in the room that you have met in passing, some of which you know are members of your clan. But there are other individuals that don't seem quite right. They don't fit the pattern. And it's not because of how they're dressed, or how they're styled, or how they stand. The old kindred, and you've been around your fair share of older kindred, including your own sire, typically do not breathe. You still have to take in air to pass over your vocal cords to speak, but the same mechanics of breathing are less of a requirement. You're catching a few people who are caught in the necessity of breath. You don't know all of them, but you can pick out a few ghouls among the crowd. One you remember as being next to Prince Brooks on more than one occasion. Hands clasped behind his back, off to the side, dressed in a dark blazer and slacks, much more put together than perhaps you've seen him in most cases, because he's been more perhaps rustic in the same way that the prince seems to tend towards a bit of that as well. But here everyone is not dressed for a gala, but dressed to take something seriously. Is there anything you'd like to react to before I move on?
I'll just go take a seat.
Okay. There is no seating at the moment. This is standing room only. The already minimal murmuring ends the moment that your primogen, Noah Halsey, takes the podium. It is curt and to the point, and wastes no time in getting down to brass tacks. Details of the prior night's grisly discovery are relayed in full with not one iota redacted. And you would know better than anyone else, including the prince, because you were there. As such, your efforts and role are covered in Halsey's briefing, including your role in papering over a potential breach. The meat, however, is not simply the visceral recounting of events. Rather, marching orders are given. Security efforts across the county are to be stepped up, something you've already started to notice. Sweeps will happen with greater frequency. Ventrue that do not normally work security will be considered on call until further notice. As such, unless at Elysium, all members of the clan are to stay armed at all times. Should they not have appropriate arms or further solutions are required to supply members of their mortal or ghoul staff, they are directed to Mr. Rook, who will sort them out. With orders and expectations doled out, the meeting begins to disperse in short order, leaving you free to either converse with your peers or to make your exit while you can. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna stay and converse with my peers.
Okay. The majority of named Ventrue NPCs that you have seen before are present. Obviously, Prince, Whip, Primogen, the mentioned Rook, Lash, Innsbruck, Corwin, Rudlow, and a few others. Is there anyone in particular you wish to approach?
How busy is Rook at the moment, since people were directed to him?
He's getting to be a bit busy, but in a way that is orderly. You would expect nothing less of the Blue Bloods.
I'll linger a moment because I want to talk
Mhm.
to him, but it's not for these marching orders, so I don't want to interrupt that flow.
Okay. If that is a bit of a roadblock, is there anyone else that you want to see while this goes on?
I, as a player, want to talk to Corin again. I'm trying to figure out Kate's angle at this
Mhm.
moment.
Okay. You do see her standing nearish to the prince and your primogen, as if they are looking for anything that they need to deal with as like a supervisor. But they are otherwise not verbally engaged in a conversation. Do you wish to approach?
Yeah.
So as you walk up, you are approaching sort of a like half-step dais where the podium would be, but because there is no present pomp and circumstance, it is not a violation of decorum to step up there. Should this have been a active speech, like when he was giving his marching orders and you walked up there, that's a problem. But the meeting is officially over. More in the afterlude that now needs to be dealt with. But as she is standing there, watching the crowd, looking for any issues, and you approach from the side, instead of getting directly in her eye line. How was it last night?
Which part?
She looks to you as if waiting for you to fill in your own blanks.
The fucked up part or putting everything into motion?
Start with one, then the other.
Well, it was probably the most gruesome thing I've ever seen.
I hear DC's been a lot cleaner the last couple of decades.
Yeah, the rest of it was before my time. But I can only imagine now, having seen that.
She does quiet down a little bit. She wasn't speaking entirely loud before, but a little more conspiratorially. Most of the larger incursions were before my time as well, or at least before my time on this side of the curtain, which is true for most kindred. Unfortunately, it is a recurring cycle.
Something we all get to deal with at times, huh?
In different capacities. I don't mean to take away from your good work, but this was small scale, unfortunately.
Hmm.
I'm sure you've heard one or two rumors about the last big incursion,
Above table, that was the hurricane.
the hurricane. When the, out of character, when a lot of things went very sideways, and you know that some people died, either during the hurricane itself or the Sabbat using the hurricane as cover.
Remind me, how long ago was that?
Um, Tongue gets a little wibbly wobbly in a game that moves at this pace. Maybe about 2 to 3 years. You know that Vega has not been sheriff for too long. It
Hmm.
coincides with the aftermath of that hurricane. I hope this is easing you into how terrible it will be eventually, whether today or a decade from now. That's on the low end.
Hmm.
Other than that, I was working with Redgrave.
I think I finally found my place.
She looks over the room as things are. Despite the discontent of the situation, but not discontent at any particular individual. No one is griping or sniping or causing a scene, but there are people who are politely grumbling at the change in circumstance. And she looks over at this organized chaos. Well, if you hadn't have acted the way you did, in the order that you did, this wouldn't be quite so orderly.
I'll take it as a compliment.
There are those in that position, even amongst our own ranks, who would have choked. It won't be viewed as some great line on your resume, but it will be looked at as a lack of a black mark on your resume, which, for our kind specifically, very often that's about as good as it gets.
Hmm.
Anything else, Miss Fulton?
Speaking of grumblings, is there any ears to the ground we need to keep? Any discontent, or is this just par for the course living here? Situations like this.
When you're asking that question, are you referring to the people in the room or in the city in general?
In this city,
Okay.
kindred in general.
That's a bit complicated. We do have a variety of personalities to contend with. Some who will be happy to jump on board with any blood hunts that get issued as a result of this. We're not there yet, but that is also par for the course. There are those who will, whether they believe it or not, will try and make a fuss about how they're being stifled in some way, but they're just making noise. I would pay attention to people who underreact. There are those that can profit on such shift in circumstances, whether personally or professionally. Though that being said, some of the ones that would have more directly profited are they've already met the final death. The previous Toreador Primogen, for example, would have tried to rattle the cage.
Hmm.
But he's long dead and therefore irrelevant.
Heard bits and pieces of that story.
Well, perhaps we'll go over that in more fulsome detail. It's at this point you do notice that things are thinning out among Rook, as he is sort of partitioning people off to a few members of actual Veritas staff who you presume are either Gould or in some manner in the know in an allowed fashion. So he is beginning to free up if you want to make your leave.
Hmm.
Do you do so, or
Yeah.
how do you do so?
I'll kind of look over. Thank you for giving me a few minutes, Corn.
Let's hope all of your nights aren't so eventful.
At least eventful in a different way.
That's the spirit. As you begin to veer off in different directions, she does go over to talk to one of your peers. Rook is looking up from a table where he seems to have been writing things down. There are no like stacks of gun cases or anything next to him or anything, but it is more writing out something, take this to a quartermaster, get this kind of thing. And he seems to be handing out some papers and he looks up, he sees you. Fulton,
Rook?
I don't have too much time. You doing all right?
Well, I was gonna see if you had any fun, friendly advice.
I'm just gonna just gonna write down a few more things, hand out a couple more sheets, bark an order at one of the Veritas staff, waving them over. Making him like take over this, do this. Like he's directing workflow for a moment, and then he steps aside with you for a moment. What do you mean?
What are your favorite ways to deal with all the fucked up shit you see on the job?
I would say compartmentalized until it becomes a tumor, but since we don't have that particular biological artifice anymore, I suppose that delays things until the end of time. Find a hobby. Go blow something up. Go find someone.
So the usual vices then.
Within reason.
Mm.
Vices are things to be indulged in. When they become your entire personality, that's the problem. Go deal with this in the way that you need to deal with it. In as long as it doesn't get in the way of anything else, doesn't preclude you from any other duties, nobody gives a shit.
All right. We may not have the biological capabilities, but if any one of us could find a way to get a stomach ulcer, it would be a Ventrue.
You need to spend more time around Brew, huh? Feeling real brave. Go find Jolene and put her in the ground a different way.
Above table, is he implying what I think he's implying?
He's implying go knock her on her ass.
Okay.
Above the table, there is a well-known psychological overlap between having experienced peril and needing to either fight or fuck. And very often, the two overlap.
Look, enemies to lovers is a fantastic trope.
Not a healthy one.
No one's saying you go follow the romantasy book.
Mm-hmm. In any case, is there anything else you want to bring up with him?
No, it's just that.
Okay. There are, of course, your other peers in the room. Is there any of them that you wish to go speak to?
You don't get gold stars as a Ventrue, but is anyone, even if they're trying to act like they're not to, kind of paying attention?
Mm-hmm. You're looking to see who is, because your name came up in the briefing, you're looking to see who's looking your way.
Mm-hmm.
With you beginning to sort of mill away from Rook. Trying to think which one would be the most fun. Ah, here we go. Ms. Lash
Yep.
walks in your direction. While she's not as latex clad as she very often is, it's more of a pinstripe skirt suit that ends just below the knees, but is far too tight. It's that a little like Lucy Liu in Charlie's Angels style, but not leather. Same cut, very tapered. She looks like she should be having a cigarette at the end of one of those long sticks, but due to the style of meeting, that would be viewed as inappropriate. She sort of walks towards you with her uh, sort of hands, sort of like cupping her own elbows style, as if sort of posing and preening in her own way. Well, seems like when you're not around me, you get into all kinds of trouble.
I think I could find ways to get in trouble in a multitude of places.
Oh, anything in particular?
Just trying to plan the rest of my evening.
She almost seems as though she's pacing in this glacial circle like a shark around you, letting you have that Doppler sound effect slowly rotating around you unless you decide to try and follow.
I'll let her do her thing.
Mm-hmm. Tell me, first time you've seen such a thing?
That obvious?
More probability. You're on the younger side.
Hmm.
It'd be strange if you were inured to it already. Tell me, have you freaked out yet?
Not yet.
And she gets to where she's almost standing directly behind you, ears almost over your shoulder. Well, perhaps we can let that out in a safe space if that's required.
I've got your number.
Oh, and I have yours. Fingertip down the spine and walks away. Now, do you want to roll to see if you shiver or
Sure.
let's make that
I want to let the dice gods decide.
Is success shivering or not shivering?
I'll
That
decide
is the
that
question.
afterwards. We're gonna go with
This is how Kate learns fortitude.
self-control and courage out of 7 because that's fun for me. And you cannot use willpower on this.
You said it a 7.
Mm-hmm.
1 success.
You feel the shiver travel down your spine like an aftershock trying to chase the finger that preceded it. But you managed to keep it from being too visible. Whether or not she noticed, who knows?
Oh, I'm sure she knows.
Mm-hmm. Now, above the table,
Mm-hmm.
the shiver can mean a lot of things. What would it mean for Kate in this instance?
I think for Kate, that wouldn't be a terrible idea.
Hmm. She was scaroused.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Before we move on, is there anyone else you'd like some direct attention from.
1 second, let me look at the list. Did yesterday, but I think I'm good for now. The only other person potentially could be Innsbruck.
Mm-hmm. He's probably one of the calmest people in the room right now. He has his more dead-eye shark demeanor firmly in place as he's simply standing not against a wall, but very near the wall. One hand in a pant pocket, very studiously watching who's around, what they're doing. Sees you. Polite, curt nod from a distance. Not necessarily an invitation, but an acknowledgement. What you do with that is up to you.
I'll walk over.
Mm-hmm. Do you stay facing him or do you sort of shuffle off to the side?
I'll do the like shuffle off, stand beside.
Okay. He doesn't change where he's looking, but he does acknowledge your presence. Not quite the scene I had prepared you for, was it?
Not quite.
But you didn't botch it. Though there's something to be said for that. I suppose you're even more glad you didn't take me up on my offer then.
We'll say I've rather enjoyed making the call rather than doing the cleanup myself.
Hmm.
But there, I think, is still the same learning how to deal with what comes after.
He doesn't look at you, but there's that sort of slight cant to his head, as if he's trying to word a very complicated thought. You ever owned a toolbox, Miss Fulton?
Yeah, my dad bought me one for my first apartment.
Practical. Good. Inside a toolbox, at least a properly arranged one, every tool has its place and its purpose. You may not use a particular item more than once or twice over the course of its lifetime, or yours. But it's still there, should the need arise. What we do, and I don't just mean cleaning up, I mean kindred. What we do, what we see, what we engage with, those are all tools. Some of them for coping, some of them for just getting on with it. And when you're done, you put it in the box, you close it, you put it in the garage, and you get on with your fucking night. And that's when he finally does turn towards you. Though that doesn't work for everyone. In the same way that not everyone is built for the job that I do. Whether it was going to be that scene you walked in on, or something closer to what I had you work with me on. Working with Redgrave, you will see some form of that in the spectrum in between more often than you would like.
She warned me before I took the job.
Learn how to use the tool. Learn how to put it away. That's when he takes out his phone and he seems to be checking the screen for a moment. Good work, Fulton.
Appreciate it.
And he steps away. Is it okay if I fade out from there?
Would Kate and Redgrave have pre-established that after this meeting, Kate kind of has the night off? Or we can just hand wave like a check-in with her before leaving.
I would have said that the check-in would have happened before you left the motel the previous evening. Like marching orders were done, and this is like, you gotta come to this meeting. After that, go be somewhere else for 20 minutes.
Gotcha.
Get your act together, get your head on straight, and we'll talk later. Does that work?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. Next scene. Elli and Poppy. You both know that tonight is an art showing that you had garnered invitations for in your own manners. For Elli, you were invited almost a week ago by Harlan. For Poppy, just last night by Tylene Verhoeven. Now, Elli, you've had a bit more of a run-up for how to get prepared for this. Did you try and cobble together something for yourself, or did you try to talk to anyone? Try to talk to Harlan or Petra or Lila for some fashion advice?
I think I would have asked Harlan if there was a dress code of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
And if it seemed like it was like a fancier shindig, I would maybe go to Petra. But if it seemed a little bit more laid, like, I guess, are we talking like this is a friend's art show in Brooklyn, or is this the Met Gala?
I'm trying to think of the
Obviously, I'll
right
go
word
Lila
for
for
this.
Met Gala. Okay.
Yeah, I think this is the correct word, but Helena would have to correct me if this is the appropriate usage. Vernissage. Oh wow, I just used an art word.
I've never heard that before.
It's for an
Vernissage?
art showing, premiere of an art show, where it's less about cocktail attire, though that is one form that you can take. It is probably closer to your friend's art show in the East Village, where it's more about fashion rather than upscale.
In that case, I might go to Lila if it's not so much an upscale type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if I've been planning this for a little bit. I think I would have already probably talked to Lila and shopped for some options based on her recommendations.
You would know that jeans and a jacket are appropriate, or even like some party dresses. It's equal parts garden party and club night.
Yeah.
So you can wear that leather jacket. Or You could do a hoodie, but as long as it's something that is a little out there, a little outlandish.
I could see
Like if you
Ellie.
wired it up with LEDs or something like that to make it look a little like a Met Gala-esque kind of thing. As long as you were doing something and it's fashion, it's fine.
I would say Ellie might have gone for like thrifting some sort of leather jacket
Mhm.
that has like almost anime style of buckles, like you know those styles of like this
A
this outfit
Square
has so
Enix
many.
amount of buckles and
Yes,
zippers.
Square Enix amount of buckles and zippers. It's like you, because I have encountered some leather jackets like that where I'm just like, I don't know why this button is here. It works, but it's
It's not
completely
structural, but it
useless.
is
Yeah.
there. Okay. For Poppy, the Toreador, not to be outdone by a Nosferatu. I'm
Hmm.
sure you have conjured or cobbled, scrounged, pastiched something.
Yeah, I think Poppy's going to go with um she has this kind of like baby doll-esque dress that may even be from before, that has some like layers and ruffles and lace, that looks very girly. But then on top, she's gonna put a like black band tee that she has that's like a little ripped and kind of worn. And then on top of that, she's gonna do um these like chained harness things. So, I mean, also doing Enix level ideas, but like a chained kind of harness that connects to her neck and goes around her waist, to kind of like cinch it in. And then she's gonna do some kind of ripped fishnets, black platform boots, and then like a hot pink purse. Yeah,
One of the
simple.
reasons why I enjoy VTM as much as I do is just the opportunity for weird and fun, outlandish fashion descriptions.
Yeah,
Vampire. Fashion stakes.
the stakes have never been
Okay.
higher.
Mm-hmm. Now, for Poppy, is there anyone that you want to check in with before you leave the house, or you're going out and doing your thing?
I'll let Nico know where I'm going, and if Clarice is around, I'll
Mm,
also let her know um that I'm heading out.
okay.
But I don't really have a conversation I think I need to have with them.
Okay. Nico's already out of the house, so I would assume you sent him a text, or you maybe have told him the night prior when you got back in, like, oh, hey, I scored that thing after we had that
Mm-hmm.
talk. Got a crisp high five. Everyone went to bed after that.
Yeah.
But if you do look around the house looking for Clarice, you do find her in a more subdued and dour mood. And you've come to notice a bit of an ebb and flow with her, where she has her good moments and her spirals.
Hmm.
She's having one of those at the very moment, where it's not throwing things around the room or anything. It's more just quiet and despondent. Not really engaging with much. Not even really like flipping through a book or an album or anything. Just sitting and kind of staring off,
Mm.
lost in thought.
Poppy will quietly kind of walk into the room and say, "Hey, I'm going to a gallery show, small gallery show. But if you need me to pick up anything for you on the way back, I can do that."
It takes her a few blinks to process not only that someone's in the room, but that they've said words. And it's like
Mhm.
watching the lag catch up in real time. Oh, I was meant to go to that.
I'm sure there will be others.
And she does clue back into that you had asked if she needed or wanted anything. If you see a piece worth bringing home.
Sure.
And she does not elaborate any further as she
Great.
settles into that eerily statuesque image of, because she doesn't need to breathe, she doesn't need to blink. And for a brief moment, you might be forgiven for thinking that, well, that's a very nice day. I was just talking to that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Okay. So you head on out.
I do. I take the Lexus. Just a little bit of Lexus.
Mm. Ellie, do you just try to meet Harlan there, or do you meet up with him somewhere? Up to you entirely.
I think I might, like if he has a if he wants to be picked up, I can pick him up. Just so we have a second, like, so I'm not like going in there going, where's the guy I'm meeting?
Mm-hmm. That's always awkward.
especially if it's something, especially if I don't know the place.
Mm-hmm.
So I basically need to know like when I need to have my face ready.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's entirely amenable to being picked up. And when you do, he hops in and he's wearing another, like you've seen him usually wearing like a leather jacket of some kind. Usually stylish in its own way, but in a way that's fairly effortless and relaxed. Like he's less that he's trying to impress anyone, but that just makes it a little bit more impressive in its own sort of passive way. And he's wearing like more of a wet look leather jacket. And darker jeans, uh, nicer shoes, but with this sort of trying to think of the best way to describe this. Almost like a hot pink glitter t-shirt. Or gotta represent.
And when Harlan opens the door, what he'll see is in this kind of leather jacket, um, a little more of a goth look.
Mm-hmm.
I'm imagining the goth kids I knew in high school who tried to but didn't quite pull off the kind of hair down over one eye type of thing. It's like as if you were trying that, but the hair
Are
is a
they
little
trying to
too
do like
short.
the head swoop?
Yeah, exactly. Like have that ready to go.
I think
And
they called that the hot shit head toss.
oh really? That's amazing. Um, black eyeliner, and yeah, a little bit skin complexion of someone who maybe hasn't seen too much of the sun. Maybe a little vitamin D deficient.
Could be goth, could be Irish. We don't know.
Who knows? Who's to say?
And I'm assuming we're staying more in the like andro spectrum. We're not
Yes.
leaning. Okay. Just trying to get the correct image in my head.
Yeah.
And do you put the face on as he's getting in, or
I would say I have it on before
Mhm.
he opens the door, mostly so that in case anyone happens to be looking into the the vehicle. You can't be too careful with that type of thing. Also, I'm not sure. I don't recall if we ever had Ellie. I guess I got tinted something for the windows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been one of the things that
One of the
Lila
first
would have helped
things.
you with
Yeah.
pretty quickly because her car has that specific feature.
Yeah.
So that would have been on very close to the top of priorities.
Yeah. I would say it's basically once Harlan's fully in the car, then I can let it loose.
Okay. Just so he knows who he's actually talking to and not just some
Yes.
random person in the van. Just, my ride's that way.
Yeah.
Kind of looks over the image. Huh. That would have been my first guess, but all right.
Do I need something different for the actual event?
It's a wild ass spectrum of these things normally. Just not what I would expect you to go with first for some reason. I don't know. Maybe it just means I don't know you well enough.
Oh, I'm interested to see what you would expect me of all people to do first.
Well, that's when he kind of leans back just a little bit. He goes, I would have expected like the zippers and buckles very much, but I almost would have expected more of like a double faux hawk.
Yeah, that's the type of thing that I just. Yeah, we'll get to know each other more.
Okay. So as we get underway, the first thing one would notice when heading towards the SCAD Museum of Art is the glass and steel lantern that crowns the structure like a beacon. No stairs wind up through it, no rooms inhabit it. Like most art, it exists for but its own aesthetic's sake. As you get closer, you notice the modern clean-cut concrete emerging from the recycled, antiquated brick of the structure or structures that once inhabited those very same grounds. Once you've parked and made your way inside, the interior is much the same. A perfect blend of old brick into the modern updates. Clean white dividing walls and ceilings with carefully attenuated lighting to both showcase various hanging pieces of art without overpowering or damaging them. You are ushered through a myriad of hallways that give you a better idea of what the venue contains. A variety of permanent collections, both local and foreign. Some are paintings, sculptures, and fine fashion. There is a 250-seat theater, classrooms of various styles and purposes, a conservation studio dedicated to preserving and restoring works, and, more importantly, the reason you are here. A series of showcase halls for live and changing exhibits. But while it is the art college, the works on display at the moment are not the product of mere students, but active artists of all types. However, before you are able to be permitted to this artistic wonderland, you have to turn over your phone or camera or leave it in the car. You have to prove a negative that you do not have a phone or other recording device on you. For Ellie, I imagine this is a bit like cutting off your own hand.
I think Ellie is going to place their phone in a secure place in their vehicle. Even like while Harlan is like walking out, like do like what some squirrels do, where it's like look like I'm putting it like any of 5 places. Because Ellie just doesn't trust anyone to fully protect their device.
You do notice when people are handing over their phones, it's like a bank of very small cubbyhole lockers. Like someone ripped out one of the um, like post office walls, where it's almost like little tiny, tiny little safes where you are given a key. And when you do see them open, people are putting one in. They are sort of wrapped in these um, almost little foil blankets, as if people are aware of how these things can be accessed. And it's like they're giving it this little Faraday cage situation. And when you do see people putting these in, unlike a mail office, there is no hollow back wall where a postman would be inserting the letters from. It is a fully solid structure. You're not meant to get into it without the key or a
Challenge
sledgehammer.
accepted.
Mm. Up to you. Poppy is the one that has to steal something tonight, but you know what? You can self-direct your own mission tonight.
Poppy needs a distraction.
Also, I don't have to steal something tonight. I could find a person from which to steal in the future.
Yeah.
There's options.
Gulp.
So, actually, that does lead me to Poppy. Do you leave your phone in the car, or do you trust in the arrangement that they have presented to you?
I feel like Poppy, in order to create the appearance that she is just there to have a nice time, will bring her phone with her.
Mhm.
And when like she comes to the area where they'll take the phone and put it in the little box, she'll go, "Oh, just 1 second," and then she'll take one more selfie and then hand it over
Oh no, is the
willingly.
song playing right now is just first let me take
But
a
first,
selfie.
let me take a selfie. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yes.
But like the epic dark pop version.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You are, as mentioned before, each of you ushered in. Some people sort of like waving you in one direction or another, following some signage. You have this artificial cloud built into the ceiling of layered panes of glass and plastics of different densities to sort of give that volumetric illusion as the light passes through it. And it weaves all the way through the main hallways until, of course, you reach the main, well, showcase area. And it gets a bit more traditional, perhaps even harkening back to what was mentioned of New York, where it's that exposed brick, the pristine white walls showing off one piece or another. And it's not just paintings, there's sculptures, there are created wearable pieces of art, like as if collected from movie sets that some people have worked on here. And you know that Atlanta for the last 15 to 20 years has been very big in the film industry. So you have some things that have been brought down, people who maybe have graduated from SCAD to go work, say, for Marvel Studios. So you have a collection of the traditional and the modern. And the kind of things that would belong on a runway in Milan, more experimental. So the variety is for you to enjoy and for you to decide how exactly or what you're going to walk away with tonight, if at all, or if you're just casing the venue or its peoples.
I think Poppy will kind of, as she walks into the main space, be eyes up on that kind of cloud-like structure. Um, and as she's walking, she's trying to just kind of like tune in to what she's here to do in like a meditative way. So that once she enters into the space, her shoulders are more back. She at least is appearing more confident. As she looks around at anything that would fit in Edward's home, potentially. Something to match a home that has a conversation pit.
Hmm. You were rather spoiled for choice because
Mm.
everything, with a bit of finagling, could and would easily fit either on a wall or on some sort of pedestal or dais. And if it's a really good piece, I'm sure he would have a plinth custom made for it if it was attractive enough.
Mm.
Now, here's a real devious thought for Poppy. She likes, from what I've gathered over the last year and a half or so, she likes wearable theft.
Yes.
There are, of course, the fashion pieces.
Hmm.
You also notice that there was a young woman who was leaving Edward's house or office just as Poppy was arriving.
Yeah. If there's something nice for her. That's a great point, Grim. Thank you for saying so.
It's almost as if I do crimes. Anyways,
Yeah. Poppy will look for, I mean, jewelry, like, yeah, I think jewelry is going to be the main thing here.
mhm. There is some bejeweled things, but they're fewer and further between. It's more outfits,
Okay.
like full, um, like headless mannequin entire outfits on display. Some of them quite elegant and ornate, and some of them more just off a runway somewhere.
Hmm.
And then, of course, all the other more traditional art. But as you muse through that, Ellie, you are walking along with Harlan as he's not directing the flow of your attention span as much as walking alongside you as you decide where you'd like to meander.
So, whose specific new exhibit are we seeing?
Well, no one in particular, but I thought maybe we just see what's about.
Huh. Have you been to a few of these yourself?
I'm going to have you roll perception empathy.
All right, I'm going to use a willpower. No, I'm not. Okay. Perception, empathy, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What is this at?
We'll just say a 6 for now.
Four successes.
Well done. As he responds, well, I used to be at these a little bit more of a regular back in the day, but it has been some time. And from that, you are gathering that it's less that he was a patron of the arts and more of a participant.
So do you so do they still have anything up here of yours? Ellie winks.
He looks around. Not in this hallway, I think. And a few of my sculptures, maybe a few rows down.
Well then, you're learning about me, I'm learning about you. Let's go see them. That's what you wanted from this, right?
And you do sort of see this man going, in real time, realizing that he has been hoisted by his own petard. You wouldn't rather see the rest of the event? You want to? Oh, all right. Cranes his neck. Well, make no promises. I don't know if they actually have anything still, but all right, let's go. And as he weaves through additional hallways to some of the more pseudo-permanent collections that are not part of the show itself, just more the local collection for the museum, you do find an area that's a little bit more about sculpture. And specifically, you find pieces that don't have his name on them. I think probably for some obvious reasons. The masquerade and such. That are sculpted metal. That kind of looks like he would have spent days or weeks with a blowtorch welding something, or carving out a shape from a solid block of aluminum till he ended up with something bespoke. Some of them are more like they would take up the entire space of a car that's laying like upright from its bumper, and some things that are basically like the iron equivalent of a Fabergé egg. But always using metal. What they say about whatever thing he's trying to convey, if he's trying to convey anything at all, is entirely subjective. We're going to go with death of the author here because he's not going to tell you what it means or what it should mean.
Looks like you're a little bit artist, a little bit blacksmith.
Well, everybody has their thing, I suppose, and working with my hands and the most stubborn materials out there seem to be rather appropriate.
Ellie squints slightly at the word stubborn.
Sam, did I stutter?
Have you been doing this as long as you can remember?
He stops very shy of like running his hand along one of the pieces. Far as I can remember, really. Most just from finding scrap in the holler and bashing it together with a mallet.
Not too much like cobbling together some of my kits. I don't usually bash it with a mallet, though.
Well, as I understand, a little bit of progressive maintenance goes a long way.
Remind me to not let you anywhere near my computer.
Looks like you were tricking out that van. I'm sure I got one of my tools lying around here.
Hmm. Thankfully, none of the expensive equipment is in there yet.
Yep, being the key word. When you get all that fancy shit in there, what are you gonna do with it?
Well, it's much easier to. I can't go into. Can't really do a lot of, let's say, internet cafes, you know, because I'm shy. And
You do hear a bit of a snort.
the having a place where I can be away from home but still access the internet is kind of nice.
Elliot, I need you above the table.
Above the
How-
table, I'm definitely keeping some stuff out of why I want to get out my van.
So I need you to roll manipulation subterfuge, I believe.
I need to learn subterfuge because that's the one thing I don't have.
So because of the incredulity of the statement, it would be
Yeah.
at a 7. Do you have subterfuge?
I do not have subterfuge. I
It would
have
be at an
manipulate.
8.
I have a lot of manipulate.
Oh no.
That's because he botched, right?
Okay.
Okay. I did not. Sorry. Just to be clear,
Mm-hmm.
if I got 2 successes and they were canceled out by 2 1s,
Mm-hmm.
that just means it's failed.
It
That's
just
not
means
a
it failed.
botch.
No.
Okay.
Botch would be if you had no successes to start with and then you accrued ones.
Great.
So even if you have more ones than successes, it still just counts as a failure.
Great. So it's just a failure.
Okay. He got 7 successes on 6 dice.
That's a little bit showing off. I'm not
Well-
gonna lie.
You decided to, hey, let's go look at your art. Okay, we can play games. That'll learn you. So what are you really trying to do with that whole kit and caboodle? Because I know it ain't just for being a hotspot, which you can do with a fucking phone, so come on now.
Well, it's much easier way to keep it's always good to have something that has this is literally Smoggles trying to do it. Ellie will come up with something less stuttery.
Mm.
You're gonna need a couple of more you're gonna need a couple more hearts in our relationship tracker before I tell you everything.
All right, but you're already admitting there is something to tell, which is fun for me. Want to go
Isn't
see the
this a
show
delight?
proper?
Sure.
Come on now. And he'll lead you back towards the actual show hall, where we will rejoin Poppy, as you are sort of in the midst of, I'm assuming, casing the place, but also art.
Yeah. I definitely want to take my time and like see every corner of the place that there is to see. Um, all the while, hopefully, just listening in on who all is here. Do I recognize people? Do I need to make sure to say hi to Tylene if she's around? Is Matilda here?
It's funny you say that. How much have you been paying attention at court?
To what?
People,
To
names,
people.
faces.
Um, I
Given
th-
Poppy's history, I'm assuming that she's maybe not as active at the moment, but she was quite practiced at looking at name or looking at faces, how they're dressed, and how they walk, what their habits were.
yeah, I do think she is rusty in those categories, but
Hmm.
we'll probably recognize like some of the people that she's met and seen around,
Hmm.
at the very least, what they're wearing.
Hmm. Let's see here. That's a bit of a list. You've seen Matilda Swafford, but you've never had an introduction. You see William Crichton, the regent of Clan Tremere. You see a woman with luxurious but wild hair that is seemingly always in his orbit whenever you have seen him. Typically, you see him and he might not be with her, but every time you see her, he's next to him. I don't remember if you've seen Max Keller before.
I've seen him before, but I've never met him, I don't
Okay.
think.
You see Lachlan Montrose,
Oof.
DJ Raleigh, Madison Griffith, your Primogen Lord Laveau, and the Bruja Primogen Samuel Limehouse. There are others, but whether or not you see them right now, we'll come back to that.
Cool. Um,
And Tylene eventually emerges from the crowd, seemingly glad handing, holding a stem of, you presume, champagne. She sachets in your direction in this, uh, what should be a floor length lacy gown that stops just above the knees. It's as if like whoever was doing the render just cut it off at one point and go there, leave it there.
Interesting.
And
I
it's
like it.
long sleeves, and there's a gap around the collar to make room for a matching lace choker.
That's so cool.
And her hair is, of course, up and very bright and very vibrant.
Is it the like a black lace thing like she's wearing here, or a white lace?
I would say black with this sort of almost chameleon underlay of going from green to red. And of
That's
course, the
so
lipstick
cool.
matches.
Incredible. Oh, I'm jealous.
Well, if you ever run SCAD,
You're right, exactly. Then I get to have a special iridescent dress.
mhm,
Got it.
goals.
Goals. Tylene, it's so good to see you.
Poppy. And she holds out a dainty little hand for you.
I'll take it.
Enjoying yourself so far.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Yes. These exhibits are amazing.
Any favorites so far?
Well, honestly, I was really, really into, and she points to not the costume thing. She points totally elsewhere. since her mind has kind of grasped onto that as a potential idea.
Hmm.
But she points maybe to a more traditional piece, a painting, maybe an oil painting.
Okay. Now, I'm not going to be the mean person say, tell me all about that painting that we're just imagining exists over there
I
in the
could.
dull void. Oh, yes, that's from one of our more recent graduates.
It's lovely. The colors are incredible. Yeah, it's very inspiring to be here. Though, to be honest, on the way in, I was mostly mesmerized by I don't know what you would call it, the cloud dimensions above. So cool.
What's the point of showing off a bit of art if the venue itself isn't an art piece?
Exactly. Oh, exactly. That was one of my issues back where when I was in school. We did have these art shows, like student art shows, but the spaces were decrepit. They were falling apart,
There's a bit
which worked for
of
some pieces.
there's a bit of charm to that, and making your bones in the world by starting in such a place, but doesn't have to stay true forever.
Exactly. I'm very thankful for that.
Mm. So, and she's walking and talking, as in
Mhm.
letting you get to appreciate some of the pieces as you're walking by and seeing who else is there. There's, of course, the bevy of uh, mortal silhouettes. There are people from court that you are beginning to recognize, not least of which being your Primogen,
Hmm.
who is giving a little bit of a side eye in it's hard to tell if it's your direction or Tylene's or both.
Um,
And next to her is Madison Griffith, who has a sour look on her face that I
no
can only
phone.
describe exactly. So glad he clued into that.
Yeah.
The look on her face looks like someone is wearing her dress.
Oh,
Just sour and acid.
would now not be a good time to go over and say hello to Lore,
Are you
since
asking this
Madison.
in character or?
No. Like
Mhm.
could like can I vibe check like the the general temperature over near Lore and Madison, or is
I'll,
Madison polluting the air over near her?
I'll give you a perception empathy at a 7.
Okay. That is perception is 3, empathy is 2. Okay. That is 3 successes, 2 failures, but
Hmm.
no ones. So
Okay.
3 successes.
It's difficult to tell because of the storm cloud that is Madison, where Lore seems to have her own narrowed eyes about things. She's dressed up nice. It's flashy and stylish, and there's just this little bit of twinkle to almost like micro sequins
Hmm.
and very cinched in on an already sort of like bodycon design to really accentuate and artificialize the curves that just make it seem ethereal and unnatural. And then whatever um, rings she has on her fingers sort of seems to match that glint.
Hmm.
Like she's dressed well for this, and it's not her event.
Yeah. Um, Poppy, as they pass near
Mm.
them, will give just a small wave to Lore, not to be like rubbing it in, but just to be like, we're acknowledging each other. I see you. See, I'm also here at the event. Because last time Lore and I talked, it was not
Mm-hmm.
pleasant.
Mm-hmm. She mutely sort of like holds up the champagne flute that she was holding, but there's no smile or mirth behind the gesture. It's just, I see you, puppet. Continue
Great.
on your way.
Excellent. That's all I needed.
Mm-hmm.
Does
Ellie,
Tylene notice that interaction?
if
Like,
she does, she has not let on in any way.
incredible.
Hmm.
What poise.
What poise.
What poise.
Besides, it's my event. People are here to see me. I'm not here to see you.
It's true.
Ellie, as you are in the room proper at this point, you do see Poppy sashaying along with a sort of, how do I put this? Someone confidently striding about in their knee-length lace dress, who is almost sort of large and in charge, as if her very presence can part crowds as she wafts through them with no effort. But next to her, of course, is Poppy. But Poppy would be unable to see you. Even if she were to see Harlan, that doesn't mean anything.
Ellie is going to note where Poppy is and is going to just continue to keep kind of an eye on that if they notice she like goes anywhere in particular.
Mm-hmm. A Nosferatu and a Toreador walk into an art gallery.
Our main story tonight.
Yeah. So, Ellie, you're walking along with Harlan.
Yeah.
Is there anything in particular that you are looking for? Any one from court that you want to talk to in public? One of Ellie's points that they try to bring up to the prince, while on behalf of Tabby, was it's so difficult to be anywhere and be ourselves. You will have an opportunity to do exactly that. No cameras, nothing. You've noticed there are no cameras on any walls.
Mm-hmm. I feel like one of the first things that Ellie starts to realize is the amount of primogens that are in the art space itself.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think you mentioned that
There are
William
three primogens, I believe.
three primogens.
Mm-hmm.
So is Laura, William, and
Samuel.
Matilda. Oh,
Four,
Samuel.
actually.
Four. So 4 primogens. So the only ones that I'm aware of that are missing from here are my primogen, which is not too surprising,
Mm-hmm.
and Noah,
And the prince.
and the prince. The 2 Ventrue are currently missing.
You're also not seeing the keeper. And this does seem like the
Yes.
kind of event that he would probably be fine with.
Mm-hmm.
Or Burls, right?
Burroughs, for obvious reasons, like Mason, probably wouldn't
Yeah.
be at anything.
Yeah.
Mason at least has the ability to hide his face if he so desires. Burroughs, not so much.
So, keeping all of that in mind, I look around and go, wow, Seems almost everyone comes to this type of thing.
And Harlan leans in a little more conspiratorially, but he is, of course, erring on the side of coded language for the obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of those places where they can kind of talk in a more public spaces without being the auspices of the very particular club we all go to. And being part of one group or another doesn't preclude you from wanting to enjoy the scene.
Graham above the table.
Mhm.
I believe Artem has told me about Catherine Havel, if I'm not mistaken.
Havel.
Havel.
Calling her a hovel would be an
Havel.
interesting choice.
Yeah. The is she in this room, or do I notice other members of her clan in this room?
She's milling around. And it's a very, because going into the style of how they're all trussed up, because that's more interesting to me sometimes. You have seen her at court, and it's much more of a, she has fairly long hair, but in a way that is sort of arranged as a very tight, low faux hawk braid. Almost like it starts like that. What do they call it? Yours, the bump. That's
Yeah.
like that bump thing at the start, but it goes into this long braid that becomes a faux hawk. Slim cut bolero leather jacket, bra bikini top with a just smattering of Mr. T style chains.
um I look in a oh, that is right. It was probably Tabby mentioned to me about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'll see Havel, or at the very least I've met her before. So I'll say, oh,
At least in passing.
yeah. So I'll say to Harlan, like, oh, I did need to actually ask chat with Havel over there.
He looks at you, looks over at Havel. Okay. All right.
Because I'm so strong, Harlan. I want to see if we can, I can teach her a few things.
He is holding one of those little champagne flutes, and he looks over the rim as he makes a dramatic showing of sipping just at the edge of the rim as loud as he can while still not having the sound travel more than just you. Just, all right, let's see how that line of thought goes. Come on, don't be shy. Go.
Okay.
Is the intent that he is in tow for this conversation, or are you going off on your own?
It's more like I want to talk to this person, and if he does want to join me, he can, but I'm not
if you were not trying
dragging
to get
him
away,
around. Yeah.
If you
I'm
were
not trying to get
away, that he is very much wanting a front row seat to whatever crash this is about to be. If it is indeed that.
My favorite thing is I'm so excited for Harlan to understand Ellie's sense of humor. Is she speaking to
It's
anyone?
less that he doesn't understand the humor as much as he is wanting a front row seat to everyone else who doesn't. It's like, I get the humor. That person won't, and they will beat you with you. Okay.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So is Havel talking to anyone right now?
Not in any deeply engrossed conversation. They're little like passing moments. You do see her having like just a very quick moment with Limehouse and a couple of other people you notice from court, and a couple of other people you are presuming are mortals, but they're very quick interactions, as if they're sort of just like passing ships in the night kind of thing, just acknowledging very like polite niceties. But she's there to seemingly enjoy what's on offer, not just to be seen or to talk to someone specific.
Okay, so I will start making my way over and catching her eye.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'll say, hello, Miss Havel. Miss Havel. That's literally Smogul's doing that.
Okay.
Please don't say that LD said the wrong.
In the alternate cut of this scene, it's a
There's an
Thor
Ellie
versus
size
Loki.
cutout in the wall.
She looks at you, looks to Harlan, because
You may not recognize me, Ellie Parker.
there's a moment where she's looking over you, and Harlan goes, "Same club, different table." Ah, what can I do for you?
Well, I've heard that there are I've heard that there are there have been classes offered for strength training, and I was wondering if there were any classes available or any openings. I know I am, of course, incredibly strong myself, but always could use a little pointers.
She
I mean that as a joke.
rolls the champagne flute very carefully between two fingers. She looks over at Harlan. Back to you. First class is free. You pay for anything you break.
I'm gonna ask this once. Does that involve objects or bones?
Yes.
Uh-huh. That's figured. Well, could I get your number in order to get a class on the books? I figure I need to get a little bit more specific scheduling.
Who did you hear this from?
My friend Tabitha.
Get my number from one of Tabitha's friends. Remembering, of course, that neither of you have phones on you right now.
Great.
We'll be in touch.
Thank you.
Looking you over. And she's not trying to pierce through the illusion, but she is trying to, in her own mind, put the overlay of who the name is conjuring up in her head versus the image that you were presenting. Yes.
Mm.
We have our work cut out for us, don't we? You do hear Arlen kind of audibly smirk at this.
Well, we all have our strengths. Not all of them physical. And it's sometimes admirable to improve where we know we are lacking.
Self-awareness is a good start. Tell me, what is Ellie's demeanor at the moment? Like, how are they standing? How are they presenting? Like, are they sort of hunched? Are they standing up tall?
I feel like they were standing up tall,
Mm-hmm.
and are trying, and like there might be times where some of their old posture comes back
Mm-hmm.
as they um continue being reminded of their flaws.
Mm-hmm.
So every now and again when they come up with a good comeback, they straighten up a little bit more again.
Mm-hmm. Catching this, over the posture, the way you're standing. Find your confidence. If you don't have any, you've lost every fight already. You stand taller every time you say something, and there's a little bit of a bite behind it. Lean on that. Might keep your head on your shoulders. And that she'll give you a little pat on one of those very shoulders. Harlan. Looking good, Havel. Looking good.
Enjoy the front row seat.
Well, it's like watching NASCAR. You kind of go for the crashes, but they don't happen as often as you like.
I am so sorry to disappoint.
Hey, it worked out though, right?
Sure. And Ellie's gonna look around for Poppy.
Let's transition that scene just a little bit. We'll do this last one before we go on break. Poppy. You
Yes.
can be shown around by Tylene, or you can sort of veer off in your own little orbit to find some people. You do see additional members of your society wandering about. Tessa Stratton. If I hadn't mentioned him already, Sebastian Stanford. And DJ Raleigh, and because I find it fun, Yvette Jameson.
My bestie. Poppy is conflicted. Does she continue the socializing bit, or does she continue casing the joint? And is there a way for her to do multiple things at once? So, like, is there somebody in an area of the floor, the gallery floor, that she hasn't gone over uh, and like looked at?
There's plenty of pieces you haven't been to yet
Okay.
that any number of individuals could be standing at.
Okay.
So the question is more, what do you have your eye on? What have you been conjuring up in your head as a target of opportunity, be it a person or an item from the venue, or both?
Having been thinking about um Mr. Hezekiah's potential lady friend, she might also take a look around at the mortals that are nearby, especially any like beautiful jewelry pieces on wives of wealthy men. Um,
At an
as
art show?
another,
No. No
right,
such things exist.
as just like a potential if she doesn't feel that she can heist an entire outfit, which would be so cool
Mm-hmm.
because that's what she wants to do. Um, but as a backup,
Mm-hmm.
she might try to engage a wealthy man and wife in conversation.
We saw your look from across the art gallery and we liked your vibe.
Exactly. Yeah. She wants to just look a little unicorny, just for a moment.
There's many directions in which that can go.
Correct.
So, as she paces through what I'm sure is some caliber of very familiar territory, knowing the ebb and flow of such environments, how and when to step or when not to, in order to casually, accidentally bump into someone.
Hmm.
It's so easy to get into the orbit of someone who is either flaunting their everything. Maybe not a trophy wife or trophy husband situation as much as very comfortable in their lives. And some of that is on display in terms of his very nice dinner jacket. Not the kind of thing that would be thousands upon thousands of dollars, but is at least bespoke.
Hmm.
And you've been around these sort of things well enough to know how well they can be cut to hide imperfections. How on bodyguards, especially, they can be cut in such a way that they look sharp, by hiding a gun.
Right.
Or on well-to-do men who have a little bit more corpulence to them that they would like, and the cut of their suit is meant to hide it. This is the latter. Seems like he's had a bit of work done to have some hair plugs done in. There's late stage vanity happening in his middle age. You don't know if that's his first wife or his traded in model.
Mm. Um, Poppy
But
will
they
walk.
look,
Oh,
I will
yeah.
say, they seem to match each other in terms of the way that sort of Bezos and whatever her name is, both have had some awkward work done.
Mm-hmm. Great. Um, Poppy will kind of walk over near them if they're looking at an art piece.
Mhm.
She'll comment on the beauty of it or the brushstrokes of it using that good merit enchanting voice, which she hasn't really used often, but
Can
it's
you remind me
there.
what it does?
Um, yes, there is something about your voice that others cannot ignore. When you command, they are cowed. When you seduce, they swoon. Whether thunderous, gentle, persuading, or simply talking, your voice commands attention. The difficulties of all charisma or manipulation die rolls involving the use of the voice are reduced by -2.
I want everyone to remember she hasn't been using that.
No. But this feels stressful.
Hmm. And given her past and how this neatly dovetails into it, it makes sense for her to fall back on old skill sets.
Right.
So as you approach them and you start to remark upon, well, your rather well-educated background on such things, you're able to say it with such confidence and self-assuredness that it doesn't even process for them to ask who this person is. They hear someone who is speaking with an authority on the subject. And while you are not dressed in a super elegant fashion, you are dressed in a fashion.
Yeah.
You should know what you're talking about. Just the entire image that you present and the way you speak. That's an art authority.
Hell yeah.
And as they engage with you, banter back and forth, asking your further thoughts, and as they don't so much argue with you on anything as much as they sort of present what they get from it.
Mm-hmm. And
And
she'll
it
laugh
is,
easily.
oh,
And
it's very surface level.
yeah.
Um, it's, that's fine. No one needs to have deep, meaningful thoughts on a piece of art that they just walk by. But it's the fact that anyone who tries to sell it as more than that, that's where it's pretentious.
Yeah.
And you do get that sense of someone who is a patron of the arts but doesn't get it.
Right.
And that's fine as long as they're willing to give you money.
Exactly. And Poppy, like during kind of the banter of the light disagreement, she'll like poke fun a little bit in a bit of a flirty way with the both of them, and will break the touch barrier a couple of times as she's been taught to do. So that if she wanted to quickly brush and swipe a necklace off of the woman, she could.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I'm
but
gonna
she's still
have,
conflicted. I don't know.
yeah, I'm gonna have a little bit of a wrench in the gears for both of you.
Fair.
I would like for both of you to roll perception alertness at an 7 for Poppy, 8 for Ellie.
Okay.
And there's reasons for the difference. My apologies, I actually meant to do this earlier in the scene, but we're doing it now because you're going to take a potential action.
Okay. 2 successes.
Okay.
3 successes.
You come at this from different angles. Ellie, because of having an interest in forensics and the legal side of crime before your venture behind the curtain. Poppy, you being on the exact opposite of that. You both know how to spot security in different ways. We were talking about the cut of a suit a moment ago to hide a gun. Not unlike the security you have seen at Elysium, you do see people in not necessarily the black turtleneck, black suit motif that you would expect there, but some people who fit the same pattern, who don't move as much through the venue. They do move. They do seem to talk with a couple of individuals, but in a way that it seems on autopilot. And you see ones who are sitting. Actually, no, Ellie would see this specifically. Poppy might see it eventually. But there is an older gentleman who is sitting on one of those turning stools that looks like one of the artists explaining their work. They're dressed a little more standard fare, more like they sort of walked out of the studio. And as they are talking with patrons or people just simply interested in the works, he's paying attention to the room. And with the 3 successes of Ellie, you notice an earpiece. Very well hidden, and you would at first notice it as a like a hearing aid, because it's just a little tiny earbud. But the more you look at it, that's not what that is. That's an earpiece for security.
And to be clear,
Mhm.
does this feel like, because obviously we had security at the Opera House, does this feel like that level, or does this feel like more than we even got at the Opera House, which was the type of thing you would probably want more security because you had box seats of and phones all over the place?
Has Ellie ever been to art shows before?
I would say that they've been to art museums, but not art shows.
Okay. This seems more undercover, and some of it you think is they're not meant to stand out, so it doesn't put people off of having a good time or from spending money. But for both of you, this does seem to be more than there otherwise should be. For Poppy, because of your prior experience in the world of the nefarious, you notice how, while there are lines of sight on certain items, certain places, some exits are better controlled than others in terms of where people are standing, how they're observing. It's not impossible to circumvent these things, but it is an added wrinkle.
Yeah.
And I think on that little revelation is a good time to go on a very quick break.
Sounds good.
See you in a few minutes, folks. Hello, and welcome back to Savannah by Night. We rejoined the art showcase with Poppy and Ellie at the SCAD Museum of Art, as Ellie tries to go through the strange idea of being a person in public when that has been so often denied to them. And Poppy is attempting to do crime under the noses of oh so many people, including pumped up security, all in an effort to impress someone in order to do a larger crime later. So while Poppy is deciding her options, Ellie, you're meandering through the crowd. Are you trying to find Poppy, or are you just trying to stay aware? Or do you not even give a shit?
Well, I give a shit because if there's anyone that I can get Catherine's number from, it's Poppy at this moment.
Ah.
Not because we're friends.
Because we're friends, I know I'll get the number.
Wow, that presumption is bananas. And I found my trigger button. Okay.
So I think Ellie is initially looking around for Poppy and starts to clock the extra security. And I know we talked a little bit about what the security is looking at. I also want to see if there's like security seems to be more centered around a specific piece, or if it's just generally security's uptight. And also, I want to see if anyone if any of them are kindred.
Interesting. Do you have
I do
aspects?
not have aspects. No,
Do you have awareness?
I have alertness, but not awareness.
I'm afraid that's going to be very, very difficult for
Okay.
Ellie to make that.
In that case, what I may do is like notice the extra security and turn to Harlan and go, wow, they really make sure these exhibit pieces are protected.
He looks around and well, there's usually one or two milling around, but he kind of stops and looks. They're not here for any particular piece.
Does this feel a little much to you?
Hard to say. Could be for the fact that there's a good amount of people here. It's a rather dense venue. And there are certain parties that take a lot of interest in this place. But it ain't usually so dense.
Do we know who usually runs security around here? Is this the museum itself?
Gonna lean in, just well, security for most things across the county are gonna be from Veritas.
Hmm.
You know who runs them?
I know a couple people who work for them.
Oh, really now? Which ones?
Well, I think sorry, that might have been a small little slip up.
Mm.
I think I knew that Kate was job training with Veritas, but
Okay.
that's pretty much the person
Okay.
that I think I know.
So we can rejig that.
Well, if you want to say it confidently, I don't think you know that Kate has switched jobs. Maybe.
I know that you've done training because you also did like training with Ava. So that's where that logic is. So I don't know. I think it's like, oh, they're training, not necessarily
Mhm.
that they've switched to any particular other job. I know one of the new bloods is training with them.
Quick thing, would you say New Blood's out in
No,
public?
I wouldn't. I know one of the ones that's new in town is training with them.
Hmm.
And Ellie actually takes a second and goes into the pocket where their phone will be and goes, there's some things I hate about this place.
There's a specific phenomenon where you can almost feel your phone like vibrating as if it's
Yeah.
an incoming message, but you don't even have your phone on you.
Yeah.
It's like this weird sort of calibration of proprioception that's just misfiring when the phone isn't there. Like it's missing some part of like a feedback loop and it's going haywire.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming you've had some version of that where it's this persistent itch.
Yeah. Feel someone like brush up against me and assume that's my phone vibrating. Go. I think there's also a like there's also a thing of like wanting to look something up
Mhm.
and just like, what was that? And immediately look something up, but now just can't do that.
I have to remember to look it up later like a normal person. What is this?
Yeah, that's silly. Um, by that point, it's gone. It's
Mm.
no longer important. Um, huh. I think I did see one of my other pals here. I think I'm gonna take a moment and go chat with her a little bit. See
Okay.
how she's doing.
All right then.
I'll
So
find
do
you
you
later.
so you sort of sluice off into the
Yes.
crowd. Now, before you enter that scene, I'm gonna switch over to Poppy.
Yep.
You don't know that Ellie is on their way,
Mm-hmm.
and you are debating crime with a
Yeah.
potential amount of eyes.
Yeah.
It is, however, not the first time you've done high stakes jewelry theft with a myriad of eyes. You've had to
Right.
finagle it. It wasn't just something you did out in the open, but it was something you found a way to effectuate in the end.
Hmm. How old is the woman that I'm chatting with?
Based on the work done, it is a bit obfuscated.
Okay.
She could be a she could be 28, she could be 48. It's hard to tell when someone's had some work done sometimes.
Hmm. Is Poppy gonna pull a meet me in the bathroom for something, for drugs, for sweet caresses? Um,
Well, here's the thing. She's been breaking that touch barrier,
yeah.
and she has some dripping charisma when she feels
Yeah.
like it.
It's so interesting. I'm picturing like brighter light. It's not like a brightly lit place, but it's
Hmm.
lit enough so that you can see the art.
Hmm.
And recently, Poppy's all of her misdeeds have been in poorly lit places, um, th like filled with a crush of people. So, um, I think this is potentially where her fear is coming from, as well as the security. Poppy will kind of lean into the woman's ear and say, uh, I'm gonna step away to the restroom. Would you like to come with me? And she's gonna look like seductively at the man too, just to be like, yeah, and maybe you could get in on this, bud.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, zip.
Yeah.
I think it'd be fun for you to roll for this.
It's very fun. So fun. I would imagine a charisma moment.
I'd say
Hopefully.
charisma subterfuge.
Charisma
Because you are
subterfuge.
trying to charismatically sell a lie.
It's true. With my enchanting voice.
Hmm. So you've been putting in some work. So this would be a 5. But what does your enchanting voice do? -2?
-2 for difficulties of all charisma or manipulation die rolls.
So this is fun because that puts it at a 3. So basically, you just have to not fuck this up.
Great. Rolls all ones.
Mm.
I'm knocking on wood.
Well, this is where oh, did you already roll?
I did.
Okay, never
Should I
mind.
have waited?
Nope. I was just
Um,
going to say, if you're going to use willpower, it's just before you roll.
what was my difficulty?
It was a 3.
Okay, so that's 6 successes.
I think what you meant to say was sex successes.
Successes. Battle of the successes.
And that dry, dulcet wit is exactly how you get them to step away with you.
Excellent.
Hmm. The weaponized batting of eyelashes, the subtle yet not so subtle caresses, and the lurid promise of either being their pet or making them yours has intrigued all parties involved. And considering you've heard the things about Ava Lash, her business cannot entirely subsist on a couple of people on Craigslist. There has to be a few people into the scene as a community to get things across.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're part of that circle or just adjacent Venn diagrams. But there is a moment of luring these individuals away from the more prying eyes of the art world and the security in it to a more subdued setting.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we can gloss over some of the specifics, but there normally is a certain amount of commitment to the bit, I'm assuming,
Mm-hmm.
in order to effectuate a theft.
Yes.
The unlatching and unfurling of certain things would lead opportunities to do such to other items. So, assuming that's where you're going with this.
That is where I'm going with this.
I would say you could do this a couple of different ways.
Mm-hmm.
This could either be dex and larceny, or, because I do find it fun, charisma and larceny.
Let's go charisma and larceny, especially since I've been using my enchanting voice so much. I think like that's the theme where it's like I'm telling them what to do. And yeah, we'll leave it at that. That's for the fanfic. Yeah.
I just saw Dreamy's eyes go wide just a micromillimeter for a second. Just adding something to the list.
Mhm. Okay. Oh, sorry. I fully was holding the dice like a little baby bird instead of rolling them.
So we'll put this at a difficulty of 4.
Mm-hmm.
What did you do?
What happens if you
Did you botch?
twice? I got 2 ones. And then 3 other failures. 2 successes.
Oh,
Okay.
you didn't botch.
Oh, no, I didn't botch. I'm sorry. When I see
Oh,
ones,
God.
I freak out. Sorry. Not a botch. Not a botch. I'm so sorry. Not a botch. I'm sorry. Not to be the kid who cried botch. Sorry. I freak out when I see ones.
Okay. That
2
changes
successes.
things.
Yes, I'm
Okay.
sorry.
So you got
But 2
How-
ones, so that
okay.
cancels out the successes.
how many successes did you get?
2.
2 and then 2 ones.
2
So this
ones.
is just a failure. I
It's
would
just-
say Ooh, okay, I have to word this very carefully. As you were trying to take charge of the situation, give sultry suggestions and lurid orders, perhaps it's his ego that gets in the way, but he wants to be the one issuing directives. This could have been very fine had you not rolled the way you did, but that changes the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets in the way of when, how, and where you would like to be situated in order to abscond with the desired item. So we're going to have you do this again with Dex, and it's going to be at a difficulty of 8 now because of the situation. So here's some things I will tell you. You could spend blood to up your Dex. which would be helpful here,
Mm-hmm.
or spend a willpower to get at least one auto success.
I'm gonna, yeah, let's spend a blood
Mm-hmm.
because I am petrified, my good man. Uh, and okay, spending blood,
And
and
also,
yeah,
reminder: the willpower does not get
Get
canceled out by a
does not
one.
get negated.
right. So let's go ahead and do that too.
Okay.
One guaranteed success. That sounds good. I've never used a willpower in this game so far. So
You know what?
that's great.
They're great. I use them all the time.
I know. I know. Okay. We roll again. Focusing more on dexterity. She shuts her mouth for a moment. Sorry, what was the difficulty?
I was going to be an 8.
Difficulty at an 8. Wow. Okay. 3 successes.
Is that with the willpower?
That is with the willpower, would it add a success or would it just Oh, then 4.
Okay. You find a way to manipulate this man's ego into getting him to tell you exactly where and when you want to be
Great.
in order to take off the right item at the right time to mask what you are actually removing. You might need to leave behind something lacy to short circuit the mind on what was actually taken,
Yeah.
so they can be more focused on the lurid trinket of a trophy.
That's fine. I'll leave a pair of underwear.
And
Yeah.
I was gonna make a comment of, was Poppy wearing any? But no.
With fishnets, yeah, that's not the most comfortable. Not that I know. Hi, Mom.
There's so many comments that could be made there, but since this is a Christian Minecraft channel, we won't be getting into that. So I believe the item you were looking for was some sort of flashy necklace.
Yeah.
While they're left perhaps a bit breathless and enjoying the afterglow, you slink off like the manic pixie dream girl trope that they have been misinformed about over the years. All while you have some dainty little, what's the correct word? Tote, purse, what's clutch? That just so happens to be just the right size to hide the bejeweled necklace that you haven't seen its style at Nico's shop, so you are reasonably confident this wasn't purchased there.
Great.
You hope.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's seasons for such things. Maybe that's a few years old.
Great.
But this was outside of the line of sight of any particular security personnel. Now, the question is, how fast do you leave the scene of your crime?
I
Because
don't know if I
eventually,
do.
okay, because eventually they will catch on.
Yeah, I think she will stick around for a few more minutes so as to not look like guilty or anything. She'll even like maybe wink at them across the room kind of thing just to establish like we did something so naughty. Look at us crazy kids. Before taking her leave. So she'll maybe give it like 10 more minutes, 15 more minutes.
May I give you an additional layer of potential crime for you to consider?
I would love another layer of potential crime to consider.
This was phase 1.
I was hoping so. Is
Mhm.
there more crime to be had?
Poppy's picked up a few tricks over the years. Walking away with a piece of jewelry is child's play for her at this point.
I don't know. That was kind of hard this time.
Something was, anyways.
Oh,
Anywho,
unfortunately, yeah.
um, the goal that you even said this earlier, that she was really focused on was an outfit.
Yeah.
You could create a bit of misdirection.
Yeah, I could put the plant the necklace on someone else. And then
a-
peace.
And thus the lightning rod of attention.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we've previously established her capacity for the quick change.
hmm Yeah, that could work.
Mhm.
Hell, let's try it.
Now, while you're in the second step of this, Ellie, do you want to approach or do you want to observe?
So I saw Poppy go. Did I see Poppy go in the bathroom with two people and only
Mm-hmm.
Poppy left?
Yeah, well, doing like sort of like fluff of her hair kind of thing.
Everybody left,
Eventually.
Eventually.
just at different
That's
times.
true. Interesting. Um,
Actually, here's a quick question. Would Poppy have fed on either one of them to just make that a really dozy, hazy memory?
Mm, that would be good, but it would be tricky to do because they were both there.
Mm-hmm.
So if I could
Given the
have
dexterity
cover
that...
the other person's eyes with something or some part of me
Mhm.
while doing that, yes, that would make it a little easier. Just like a little bit of doziness.
Well, sight isn't always the most important sense in those situations. So we could leave it at you got one dot of blood off of each,
Great.
but which is enough to just
It'll be a little hazy.
a little hazy, and just maybe helped you skate by on some of the finer, lurid details. Because they were happy one way or the other. So maybe they're a little fuzzy on who did what with whom, and was there a third?
Even better.
Okay, but yeah, but what did they look like? Like,
Yeah.
they're fishnets? I think I remember fishnets.
Great.
So you have that little bit of an extra layer. So they're indisposed at the moment. But they're going to emerge eventually looking for a lost item. So Ellie has seen the trifecta disappear for a little bit. You emerge. You're going to try and find a patsy, I'm assuming.
Mhm.
And Ellie, stop me at any point if you want to try and interject. So, where are you putting this patsy? Who are you going to try and...
Crichton, just kidding. Uh I want to find someone who is not in our club,
Mhm.
and somebody who looks a little older. Like I'm thinking older patron of the arts kind of vibe, where if he was reprimanded, he could claim, "Oh, I'm forgetful," or "Oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to," and people might forgive a little more easily because she doesn't want to ruin someone's life if she doesn't know that they're a dick. Um, Yet she still has some humanity, so um yeah, I think she's gonna try to find an older patron of the arts to just kind of like place the necklace maybe like in his like pocket, either on it on like a shirt or a jacket, or in like in a pants pocket with it like dangling out just a little bit.
I want you to roll Dex larceny or or Dex stealth.
Um, let's go for stealth at this point.
You've already spent blood, so your Dex is actually still higher.
Okay.
You are in a very public setting.
Yeah, that's why I'm
Uh,
thinking stealth is the most important.
I would consider willpower again if you really want to make sure,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't have to.
I
Because
guess I
this
couldn't use
is
my daredevil merit in this moment either.
explain what Daredevil does.
Okay. You are good at taking risks and are even better at surviving them. All difficulties are -1 whenever you try something particularly dangerous. And I would, being around a bunch of guys with guns, maybe bad. And you can ignore one botch result when you roll ones on such actions. You can cancel a single one that is rolled as if you have an extra success.
I would say, with this being a difficulty of 8, that merit would bring it down to the 7. I believe is
Okay.
what that says.
Yeah. -1. Yeah.
And go from there.
Okay. 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 2 successes?
Did you spend the willpower or no? I don't remember.
Oh, yes, I did. I'm sorry. 3 successes then.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I really have willpower. I have not used before in this game. I don't think it feels risky.
Yeah. Considering the intention of the watchful eyes here, was a good move to spend the willpower. It
Okay,
is very. Did you get any ones in that?
I got 1/1
I believe you're allowed to ignore that.
because of my daredevil.
And it counts as an extra success.
Oh yeah,
Is that what that
good.
says?
You can cancel a single one that is rolled as if you have an extra success.
Okay.
But canceling the
We'll say
verbiage
it
of that is
cancels.
not
I'll look at the verbiage later, but we'll say it
okay.
just cancels, so it doesn't cancel out one of your successes.
Okay.
So you got enough.
Yes. I'll send you the verbiage.
Now, it will take a few moments for this to play out. The little play that you have set in motion. And in that time, Ellie, do you approach? Or do you let this play out? Because I'm assuming you started watching and you have not stopped watching.
I am watching and have not stopped watching,
Mhm.
and I think I will. Yeah.
I will have you roll, however, a perception alertness at an 8, because I want to see on an opposed roll if you beat how many successes she got, to see if you notice what she did.
Um. No, I don't think there would be a reason I would want to use willpower here. Fail. No ones, but
No,
fail.
just a fail. Okay. You've been watching, but she has successfully hidden her actions and intents. For all you know, she just lured some people away to have a quick snack.
In that case, I will approach. And I'll come up to Poppy and go, excuse me, are you Miss Poppy?
Hi. Yeah. Who are you?
Um, I was told I should speak with you. Do you have a second to walk away?
Like like a second. This is a kind of
Sure.
social event for me.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you so severely.
No,
Um,
no, it's I can give you my number, I guess, after this, and we could actually have a conversation.
oh, sure. Yeah, that would be great. Afterwards, I was yeah, that sounds good. Or maybe if you're free, like directly after this, we can have a second to chat.
I have a date.
Oh no, I understand. I'm sorry. Well, just
Do you have a pen?
so, um, no, I usually use my phone for notepads, but then my
Mm,
uh, but then obviously it's in there. Um, you know what? You know what? Don't worry about it. It's fine. I was just you know, yeah, it's fine. Enjoy the rest of your night, and I'll I'll tell my boss I didn't need to speak with you, or you weren't
who's your
available. It's
boss?
fine. Oh, it's not important. Sorry. Have a good. And Ellie's gonna start walking away.
Time is of the essence. Poppy is gonna have to go and start her quick change sesh.
Hmm.
Um,
Or at least to be ready where an item is
yeah,
that you're trying to abscond with.
yeah. Like if she can like nab like a really cool high fashion jacket or
Hmm.
something off of one of the um mannequins, that would be incredible.
So, quick thing.
Hmm.
Ellie, what was the intended action there? Were you trying to throw Poppy off entirely? Or are you trying to
I
get something from there?
The intention was initially to lure Poppy away,
Hmm.
so Ellie didn't reveal their full cover in front of everyone, because I don't
Hmm.
think pretty much Harlan and Havel know that Ellie
Hmm.
is in disguise here. So it was a bit of an excuse to pull it away, and
Hmm.
also Ellie has not had the chance to actually try to fully fool someone
Hmm.
in full disguise, and it was a little bit to see if they could.
Okay. I would say that there would have been zero reason for Poppy to try and see through a disguise.
Also, my attention is very much not
It's
on.
divided.
Yeah.
You also, I would say you're playing it very differently from how you normally play Ellie. So I don't see a good justification to try and see through that beyond. That was a weird interaction. Anywho,
Yeah.
crime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have successfully posed as not Ellie in front of someone that you've had many interactions with. Whether or not you tell them about that later on is up to you.
Mm-hmm.
So I will say, for next time we go to do the willpower reclamation, write it down for yourself that you have successfully hidden in plain sight of someone that knows you.
Time to use all the willpower. Here we
Mhm.
go.
So it does take another maybe 10 to 15 minutes for your dominoes to start falling as this couple eventually emerges, and the initial sort of like joyful palpitations lead to her going, wait, 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 wait. And they start frantically looking around. Did she drop? Like she's looking on the floor. They do look in um, where the encounter happened. Nothing. They start looking around. They're trying. they're very sort of quickly, frantically talking like, "Wait, who was? Wait, are we high? Did we? Like, how drunk are you?" And they are looking around on the floor, and it's that very tight smile as they both sort of just clip clap walk over to someone they perceive to be in charge, trying to tell them, "I've lost this. This is happening. Yada yada." Trying to get them to look in various directions, like, "This is expensive. It's on the floor. Probably can someone find it, please?" And eventually, these series of dominoes lead to this elderly gentleman with a very inappropriate fashion accessory dangling out of the pocket of his jacket, which leads to a very confused situation between all parties involved, and a very small but very shouty bit of drama erupts. Eyes start to go in that direction. Security does begin to peel off, not all of it, but some, and even the few that haven't pulled away from their perches are at least enjoying divided attention. If ever there was a moment for you to just see something and head on out, now would be the time. This is still going to be very, very difficult. This will be a DC of 9.
Okay.
This is going to be Dex Stealth. You have already spent blood to up your Dex.
Mhm.
Cramp,
Yes,
may I propose something?
you can try.
Ellie maybe at this point notices they're the same people that went in.
Mm-hmm.
They are out complaining about losing something.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the direction that Poppy went, and maybe I work a little bit to lead security in wherever the opposite direction of that is.
So you would like to help with this little endeavor. Okay. So you... Okay, so you want to... It'd be interesting to... Because you want to just sort of tell people something you want... Like, how exactly do you want to fool them?
It's basically like I go, oh, I saw someone who seemed to be holding something like that, and I basically was like, I think they might have gone over there or something like that.
So you're trying to take
and
the
I
heat
don't
off of this man a little bit by saying that there's another party involved. Which is not entirely
well
untrue.
yeah,
Mhm.
I don't think I'm aware that the man's part of the plan.
Mhm.
So it's a little bit of just trying to veer attention away from the direction I know Poppy went.
Okay.
Because I also not aware of the other stuff. It's a little bit of just like
Mhm. But as a result, you're trying to say this guy didn't steal. There was somebody else involved because he's exasperated and fighting this accusation. Like it's clear that he is saying that he's not a part of this. So if you want to sort of,
oh, in that
if you want
case
to add
maybe
noise,
yeah, I might add noise, or I might be like, or I might even try to be like, no, I saw you walk out of that, like as like a potential witness that could
Mhm.
cause a little bit of extra confusion there.
Okay, I'm gonna have you roll manipulation and subterfuge at a 7.
Okay, I'm gonna use a willpower for this,
Okay.
and it's at an 8 because I don't have subterfuge.
Ooh.
That's 2 successes total.
Okay, I will allow Poppy's difficulty to come down from a 9 to a 7.
Oh my God. And she has no idea who you are and that
Mhm.
you're helping her.
Nope, but it's just,
Fascinating.
it has more to do with the fact that security is paying less attention.
Yeah, I love that.
Or
Okay.
they are, but in the wrong direction.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4 successes. No ones.
So I'm going to have you decide what that outfit is that
Oh,
you are absconding with. And with that many successes, you're not just able to take a jacket or an accessory. You can abscond with the entire fucking thing if you want.
oh my God. Um, okay. I think it's this like vibrant scarlet red combination of things that are it's like a velvety fabric, a like tea-length long skirt with red fringe on the bottom that's been kind of braided into macrame around. Uh, this red, very structured jacket that has almost like an Elizabethan like crown and ruff thing, but it's all very wire looking, like it like corset material. There's like a lot of boning in it and it's very regal looking. And like a silly little black necktie that like a child at a all girls school in like the 50s would wear, like a little bow tie thing that kind of like infantilizes this otherwise rather regal red velvet corset like queenly outfit. Like there's something bratty about it.
Well, I believe it's still Brett somewhere in this timeline.
So true, so true.
I would say that there's now aspects of this you're able to hide in the little clutch, things that you are able to slot over your existing outfit as if to hide what it is. And other parts you're just peering around, yoink, gone. Like you were doing this in
Yeah.
like small little steps to sort of like disassemble it in stages. And then when no one was truly paying attention, all the ruckus was happening over there. The lion's share comes with you, and you are out a door. And a reminder that there were no cameras, no phones, by design, and almost entirely to your benefit at this moment. And I believe on that little bit of larceny, we're going to fade out from there. Cora and Artem, you've been waiting very patiently. Thank you.
It's quite all right. That was miraculous to witness, to say the least.
Now, you of course wake up at your individual havens. Artem, you are not an early riser in any stretch of the imagination. But what would be your first task upon waking up?
So probably wake up, check on the bird, make sure it's still alive.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I'm gonna have you do, I believe, an animal ken check.
sure.
And
Perception, perhaps?
no, this would be more about either intelligence or manipulation. Because you were trying to get the creature to trust you, or you're
Mm.
trying to read its needs.
We will
So
go.
pick one to flavor that.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to try the more difficult role to
Mhm.
try and get it to trust me.
So manipulation and animal ken is what you're going. Do you have manipulation?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry. Yes.
We're gonna put this at a 6 for now.
Okay.
And we'll just see how that goes.
It's going pretty well so far. Okay. 2 successes.
2 successes. You do get some reticence, but as you are learning its habits, learning its dietary needs, and moments when you can just let it sort of flit about uh, your guest house, that it's a little calmer to get back into the cage when it just wants private time, a little place for it to retire to and rest. So it's looking at its cage as more of a refuge rather than a prison. It's not 100% happy with the arrangement, but at times when you're just sitting around, maybe reading reading photocopies of that book that you liked from Elysium,
Mm-hmm.
maybe you asked if you could have it photocopied so that you can read a version of it at home,
Sure.
that you can read that and just let the bird flit around the place. But eventually you do have to step out and leave.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming you check in at the house first before you go
Yeah.
anywhere.
So if there's nothing on Artem's plate, then he will usually take the opportunity to at least plan out the next thing he's going to try and do with the house, if not just pick up where he left off last.
The last big project was the stairs. You're still doing a few finishing touches, but it is miles ahead of where it was. To the point where it's looking closer and closer to a photograph of a finished product rather than the dilapidated, aged structure that it was when you started. But as you are establishing your next order of operations, Alden does descend the stairs, and his suit is, how do I put this? More businesslike than usual. It's a sharper cut. He always looks well put together. A bit of a contrasting image to his more bestial facade. But here he doesn't have the three-piece, he doesn't have the vest. This looks more business. And he looks at you. What are you doing tonight?
Just kind of points at the house. Nothing. What's up?
Later tonight, you are meeting with Jethro. I need you to run a patrol.
Okay. Did something happen?
Yes.
Okay.
You will keep this to yourself for now. There's been what we believe to be a Sabbat incursion.
Okay.
So we're doing our due diligence in correcting that. Jethro's job is to find the cretins out in the wilderness and dispose of them. He needs extra eyes and, if necessary, extra claws. You will effectuate that. Take care of whatever meetings, interactions you have. Interact with him soon.
Okay.
Get to it.
Artem will look at his phone. Does he have any meetings or interactions planned today?
Let's move on over to Cora for a moment. I'm assuming you had to rearrange your apartment after your interaction with Lewis.
Not very much, seeing as I don't have a lot of furniture. But yes, I did go ahead and move my cot back into the closet. Although Cora herself is not going back in the closet. But it's neither here nor there. She just doesn't want to get burned when she goes to sleep. And while the curtains are nice, the extra bit of insurance, bed away from the windows,
Mhm.
is key. Um, so yes, she did undertake that.
Okay.
Um,
Is there any texts or anything that you plan to send out? Any little meetings or errands that you have on your mind?
So, Cora's routine when she gets up, she immediately checks her phone to see if there's anything necessary from Grace. And if not, uh, she would have got gas on the way back from the track, so that's already covered. Uh, no, not really. Tonight, since uh, if it looks like work is tame, my screen just flickered, sorry. She will go ahead and just send a quick text. She feels a little pang. She'll send it to the group chat. She'll be like, feeling a little hungry. Anyone want to get a bite?
With, well, one individual in a very high stakes meeting, one individual who is divested of her phone, and Chris doing whatever Chris does. The
Who
main
knows?
person there to respond would be Artem, if at all.
Hmm. Artem did just get a pretty clear directive, but
Mhm. He did not say immediately, but whatever you're going to
yeah,
do, go do it now.
he'll say, "I could get something quick." Where at?
Uh, okay. Chuck's is quick.
Meet you there.
At Chris, you coming?
My question for Artem would be, do you want to try and get Chris to come along, or do you want to make this quick?
He probably does want to make it quick.
Mm-hmm. As you are getting ready to answer the question, Alden is heading out of the house, and Chris is very swiftly in tow, and they are heading towards the dock. And she looks a little more sort of staring off into the middle distance for a bit. And then she eventually looks at her phone and goes, I have to be at the house tonight. Talk later.
Heart emoji.
Mm.
We'll miss you.
Heart emoji.
Artem will text her, say, if you want to talk before the night's over, I'm around.
You just get a quick thumbs up. But I'm assuming in short order, you do head, both of you, to Chuck's Bar down on River Street.
You bet we do. Or at least I definitely do.
Mhm.
Okay.
Artem is usually never in a hurry, but he is tonight for some reason.
Mm. Now, it is Saturday night on River Street in
Yeah, would
the
it?
middle of August. It is the start of the evening, so it's not quite as packed as it could be yet. The longer it goes, the more packed it will be. But the bar is appropriately packed for a Saturday night down on the more touristy River Street. College students, scenesters, out of towners, some grunge, some grown up. all having a perfectly reasonably raucous but good-natured time. You're not going to find a table or a booth very easily, but you can find a little nook to talk in quietly. You can find people to go and, we'll say, chat up as a euphemism here. Question is, who would get there first? And I'm assuming that's going to be Cora because you are more in the core of town.
I do live closer, as far as we know. So, I mean,
I know. So I'm assuming you find a space, not necessarily a table, but somewhere for you two to kind of perch up and.
with it being Saturday night and
Mhm.
me living close, would I, because this could have it has at least an impact on my footwear. Would it
Mhm.
make sense for me to try to drive, or should I just walk?
Drive.
Okay.
You live far enough away that walking is not conducive.
Yeah, I mean, I've made the walk. It's not terrible, but it's, yeah, we'll drive.
Mm. But do you wait for Artem to get there, or do you try and get a snack now?
I'm gonna go ahead and just get a Nook, and I will
Mhm.
wait for Artem to show up. I'll order a drink too.
Okay. Actually, that does lead into a bit of a fashion question. Cora doesn't really have a plan for tonight, so she can dress up however she likes for this.
Yeah, so I think what Cora's gonna do for Chuck's is she's gonna wear like a black sleeveless romper with like kind of like a almost like a dark silt color, like janky squares pattern, like all over it, as if it were like almost a Greek key, but like it was if they invented the Greek key in the 80s. Like it's a skew. And she's wearing that, and then she's gonna actually have her driving gloves with her, and she's gonna wear her jacket as
Gotcha.
well. So she almost kind of looks like she could, like she'd be appropriate kicking around with someone in like a more serious anime, almost ready to get into a fight or something. But stylish.
Now, for Artem, you do have a directive. You have to be out in the wilderness. You don't know if
Yeah.
that means the marshes or the woods or both. I'm assuming that you are dressing for that inevitability.
Yeah. Probably not something you would necessarily know by looking at him, but the most important thing to him is the footwear. He's very clearly wearing boots ready for going out. The rest is probably either a pair of probably a pair of jeans, and then maybe just like a muscle shirt that he's pulled a button up over just for chucks.
Mm-hmm. A shirt that he could just throw away
Take off.
later.
Yeah.
Probably take it off briefly to get some attention at the bar, and then
Maybe.
statistically, Artem is very pretty. It works for him. So I'm assuming once you enter, Corey, you flag him down. Do you let him explore first? Do you play games with him that way?
He said quick, so
Mhm.
Cora, now being on call permanently,
Mhm.
will respect that, and kind of raise her glass over in his direction as he enters.
Artem will go sit at the table.
I believe it's
Hey,
more of like a
Artem.
standing nook, right? Because you weren't. It's a little harder to get a table right now.
Artem
Okay,
will go stand at
perfect.
the nook.
Then in that case, I'll give Artem like a little hug if he allows it
Mhm.
as he
Yeah.
approaches, since we're standing. Um, and it's good to see you.
Hey, good to see you too, already.
Uh, Not bad. Day's free for me, so I'm ready for anything.
Good.
As long as anything involves hanging out downtown. And Cora will like waggle her feet and show like some really like thin, strappy gladiator sandal type things with a little bit of
Oh,
a heel.
sure.
So
Mhm.
yeah. Um, but it sounds like you've got somewhere to be.
Yeah, it's always kind of got somewhere to be, but tonight it's just more imminent.
Huh. Anything I can know about? Or I should know about if I gotta drive around later?
Uh, he's like seriously thinking about this because he was told not to tell anyone anything. Um,
She'll pat him on the back and go, well, so what are you gonna drink? Work's been good lately, I can buy.
Oh, you're muted.
all right, sorry about that. Uh, good for you. Yeah, give me some cheap shit beer. Who cares?
Yeah, true, huh? Cora's gonna step away from the nook
Mm.
to buy Artem a drink and let him consider.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, based on that, you know he is keeping something to himself. You obviously do not know what, and you have no idea what kind of arrangement he has with Alden.
Mm-hmm.
But you can reasonably surmise it's just uh, he's got stuff that he either can't or is unwilling to say right now.
Yeah, Cora's not gonna press.
Mhm. You get the drink. It does take a few minutes because it is a little bit busy, but it's not so busy that you're having to wait in line for half an hour to get a beer.
Cool.
And you've been to enough of these kind of things over the years that you know the bar etiquette to just be seen at a reasonable pace, and you're not
Have
making
we
a very complicated order, just all beer.
have we been here enough that we know the bartenders?
Not on any kind of first name basis. It's more just you might recognize a face, but not a name. It's just a lot of bartenders don't learn faces or they don't learn names, but they learn demeanors. Like, okay, that person doesn't fuck around. That person tips well. That person just gets their beer and goes and sits down. Like they know where to watch for troublemakers, who to prioritize to make things faster and smoother. So it's just that kind of situation going on.
All right, Cora will tip a little bit better than usual. She still
Mhm.
doesn't have very much money, but she's been working a lot, so why
Mhm.
not?
Fair. Getting back to the beer, or back to Artem with the beer.
So, had a little hangout with our buddy Ellie last night.
Oh, okay. What'd you get up to?
We, well, they've, it's kind of funny. Me, waist down. They modified a tracker that you would use on an animal. We tested it out last night on a gator.
Okay. This has to do with some of the gazebo talk then.
Mm-hmm.
And how did it go? Uh,
Fine.
Ellie doesn't strike me as much of a forest person.
Um, they're not, but they did. They did all right. I wanted them to show me that they weren't going to make me do all the work, and that's exactly what they did.
Okay, good stuff.
Above the table, real quick. As in, the wording of that was a little ambiguous. Did you mean that Ellie made me do all the work or didn't make me do all the work?
Did not.
Okay. Just checking.
Yeah, if nothing else, a real quick learner. It was fun doing the driving lessons with them. So
Just wish they didn't bounce off Chris so hard.
yeah,
What can you do?
that's something to try to solve. I don't know. Maybe that's just a time thing. Huh?
Maybe. Of course, they've probably known each other longer than we've been here. I don't often try to mess with other adults' relationships, but
Can't say if I've ever really had a chance.
I'm also not much of a people person. I think you'd be better at it.
Yeah, maybe. So this tracker, did like everything was good with it? No problems?
So it was working after it was planted. I haven't checked in for an update,
Okay.
but we're supposed to use it to go back and find the same guy sometime. He's now thinking in his head that might not happen based on other things that I know right now, but whatever.
Okay, so that sounds like a piece of the puzzle.
It's a piece. It's not the biggest piece, but it's a piece.
What's next?
Well, the most important thing is finding it the first time, right?
Yeah.
Or I guess the second time, considering you and I fucking bumbled our way into it.
Yeah, second time, sure. I've been working on that a little bit. I'm talking to Costello.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he's the. I don't know him.
I mean, I've talked about him a few times before.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we're getting somewhere. He's a little hesitant, but he said he was going to take me out sometime and let me see maybe some opportunities. So, with specific regard to, all of this business.
Sure. Well,
Sorry, I don't have much more to say about it right now, but, it's, hopefully I
was
can
never
get that
gonna
to fall
be-
into place for us, yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Let me know if you want any backup or anything.
Yeah, of course. So, you starting to get a little hungry?
Yeah. He'll kind of look around.
So you do want to peel off to go munch?
Yeah.
Okay. Make an argument for me of what you would like to roll for this. Are you trying
About
to just chat someone up? Are you trying to catch someone on the dance floor?
yeah, let's do perception alertness. Catch someone on the dance floor.
I'm going to say not that roll because it's pretty easy to find someone dancing on
Sure.
the dance floor. This would be more charisma and ooh, we're trying to catch someone's attention or to seduce or anything like that. This isn't just spotting someone. Cora, what do you want to roll?
Although I think Cora this time is just going to look for people who are looking for her. And then keep doing little glances.
Okay. I'm going to have you roll then. Charisma. And I like that we sort of use etiquette as a way of getting across bar etiquette or club etiquette.
Aha, okay, I have a little bit of that.
So charisma and etiquette, and we're going to go at just a 6.
Gotcha.
I don't remember if that was Kate or Poppy or both that established that trend, but it tends to work.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Artem, how do you want to do this? Do you want to sort of be the pursuer?
Sure.
I think for you, let's go with charisma or appearance and athletics. Maybe appearance and athletics, because we do like to talk about how statistically pretty Artem is.
It's got to be good for something, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
3. How do you do, Cora?
I had 4 successes this time.
Well done. Now the question is, do you want to have a little small nibble on the dance floor, or do you want to sort of make use of some of the nooks and crannies of the bar? Of which there are so many. Where you can begin on the dance floor, but sort of peel off to somewhere a little more secluded. Don't ever speak at once.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were directing that specifically at Cora.
Nope.
Artem is going to use a nook.
Mm-hmm. And how many points of blood do you try to abscond with?
1 or 2.
Mm-hmm.
We'll say 2.
Okay. Cora.
Mm-hmm.
How do you want to effectuate this?
Oh, I mean, she's not super comfortable with the small talk, but she's gonna do that for a little bit. And then eventually, if we still have that nook that she's been occupying,
If not that one, then a different one.
then we're gonna use that nook. Just move in.
I'd say based on what you were rolling and the amount of successes, this is less about the small talk and more about body talk. You are getting someone's attention on the dance floor, and it's not about words, it's more
Oh, good.
chemistry.
We both went out on the dance floor. That's fine then. Yes.
And finding the individual that works for you. Things were going well on the dance floor, and it was less about, hey, do you want to step aside, and more just little glance, little finger trickle along the chin. And off you go. Now, how many points of blood would you like to take away?
I'd
How
like.
hungry are you?
I'd like 2, please. That'd be nice.
You'd like 2. You could go for 3, but it would leave them very passed out in a bar setting.
Yeah, no, I think Cora wants to enjoy herself and is a little hungry. And she'd like her dance partner to enjoy themselves too.
Okay. So we'll just go with a 2. And you're able to, if you'd so desire, reconvene now that you've had your meals. I do recall that Artem at least had 1 or 2 thoughts to bring your way, if that was something that still appealed to him.
I don't know if I recall those thoughts.
It was in regards to Cora's potential utility.
Yes. Okay. So,
Cora back at one of the nooks is going to be like leaning, facing the crowd and everything, waiting for Artem to get back, and just like smiling to herself.
yeah, so
Maybe take a
he'll
napkin to the corner of her mouth a little bit.
Artem just wipes his mouth like a barbarian. As he's coming back. And probably as he's making his way back to Cora is when he would send a text to Maplethorpe, which he's not expecting to get one back immediately, but basically just tell me where to be.
Okay.
God, I love dancing, don't you, Artem?
Yeah. Always good to have a night out.
I'd say for added flavor, there's a... It's the wrong venue, but it's a weird, like, stepped down rock version of a tune from Unisexy.
Hey.
Both give each other a knowing look.
Absolutely. Something's working out nicely.
Mm-hmm. There's got to be some very specific dance move that Unisexy's got, and we both just like do it at one another.
I hope that the tune is actually called "Some Things Are Working Out Nicely."
But in a bad sort of like Scandinavian broken English
Yes,
version of the
exactly.
phrasing.
Mm-hmm.
Some things working out.
So Ellie wanted me to ask, how could you handle yourself in a situation like the one we were in that night?
I think we made out okay, right?
Yeah, we did great. Anything you were holding back, maybe didn't think of it in the moment?
No, I don't really think so. I've got a few new tricks now, though.
Anything that would help?
Well, as far as getting into scrapes go, I think you and Chris probably have that part handled. But, well, I don't know if it would work on one of them. You remember I made that little trip with Nina recently and talked about it a bit at the gazebo?
Mhm.
I could maybe do something like that. That or and Olivia might be able to help us.
We met her the first night, second night.
Yeah, it was real early on
Yeah.
the first night. But you know, in terms of me specifically, well, here I'll tell you what. Do you want me to show you right now, and you can decide if it would be something that would be helpful to us?
He's just about to say, yeah, sure, but then he's like, how how bad would it fuck me up for like the next couple of hours?
Uh, you know, I'm not really sure. Here, I've got an idea.
I will say this. When this power was attempted on you and Nina in return, you were in a padded, locked room in case it went bad. You were in the middle of a crowded bar on River Street in downtown Savannah. You do what you want to do, but I'm just telling you the situation.
It's true. It's true. Um, do you do you want me to turn the dials way up or way down? I guess. Answer me that. I know I'm being vague, but
Let's turn it down
down.
and let's not do it tonight.
Okay.
Meet later for figuring out what this is.
And I need you to think of a really sad story for me. That is maybe something that's happened from your life, and we're going to talk about that together the next time we get together.
Okay. Does it have to be true?
It would probably help if it were. I don't know what it would do if it wasn't.
Okay. How about a trade?
Yeah, I guess I got a therapist, sure.
Okay.
Well, this should be fun. I'm excited to. No, trust me. If it works out, you're going to feel great after.
I'm looking forward to it. So if that's true, I don't know if it's going to help us.
You'll see. You'll see.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'll let you get off to wherever you got to go, and I don't know. I think maybe I'll try to take in a little ghost tour or something. You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Why not?
Artem, you do get a response on your phone.
Fuck.
And it just says, the house.
Yeah, okay. Okay. I gotta go. I'll see you tomorrow.
See
He
you,
does
Artem.
not add, I hope.
Cora, I'm going to give you a roll. And it will be perception empathy
Ah, these are one of my favorites
at an 8.
because I'm good at this. Okay, add an 8. An 8 for sympathy.
Artem, I'll allow
And
you a competing roll of manipulation subterfuge.
Ah, excellent.
And I will.
Oh, one too many dice.
I'm going to put that at a 7 for you.
I'm going to spend a willpower.
Did you write it down?
This is not
I
fair.
I will remove it now.
What did you? Sorry, I missed that. What did Artem do?
Just
I
said it's
rolled.
not fair.
Yeah. I also rolled a 3, so no successes.
Okay. And it was 8 was the difficulty for me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, neat. I've wound up with 3 successes. I got to re-roll one of them, and it landed happily.
You don't know what he's doing, who he's doing it for, where it's going to take place. There are things that he's obviously leaving out, things that are intimating a certain amount of danger, but you don't know in what capacity, other than the fact is he's not going out on some leisurely drive.
Mm-hmm.
And other than the button up that he threw on, you've seen him wear something similar when you're just going out into the woods.
I'm Artem, before you go, I'm not parked far away. Do you want to take a flare with you? I still got a spare. It's my last one, but
I appreciate the offer, but not this time.
okay, well,
Keep it.
keep the group text nearby then.
Sure. Be safe tonight, Cora.
You too, Artem.
And I think on a little bit of that uncertainty is a good moment for us to fade out. Thank you, everyone, for sticking with us tonight. And I hope you all tune in tomorrow night for a familiar problem with dreaming. But until next week, take care.